Hey guys, welcome back to Shop Life. Here's another product review on Eagle Eyes, the rear LED tail lights and the reverse lights as well, that we got off of eBay for like 150 bucks, but usually they're around about 190 to 200. I actually have the same style on my car, but they're not smoked. These are smoked, so we're gonna go ahead and unbox them and show you how they look on the car. And I know that the LED lights are actually really good. I've had them for over a year. None of the bulbs have went out. It fit perfectly. It's not leaking any water. Everything works. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys what comes in the box and how to put them on. So they actually give us an instruction manual right here to show you how to do it. So here's the smoked ones. As you can see, they're not really like 100% tinted. They're just smoked a little bit. And I think this is actually like the perfect amount of smoke. That way you can actually still see all the LEDs, so you can see the lights, and it's not, you know, like detrimental to people that are behind you when you brake, pretty much. Yeah, we got them for only 145 bucks. Yeah. I paid like 220 for mine.
I paid 180 for mine.
Yeah. It's crazy. For real.
I kinda like that they tint the red.
Yep. They did a little bit. A very small bit. You can't even
like
tell.
Cherry red looking.
Yeah, you can tell like it's like barely tinted.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Like barely, but it is there.
Those are like cherry red.
Yeah, I was scared that it was gonna be too much.
Nah.
But
it's perfect.
it looks
That
good.
is
Matter of fact, Alright, so we're gonna do first, we're gonna go ahead and remove the old ones. What you wanna do is take off this back bulb housing first. So on the pre-facelift, this is a pre-facelift. The taillights that we got are for pre-facelift. So what we're gonna do is gonna undo the tab, which is right here, and it just pulls out like that. So you just pull this tab towards you like this, and it'll just pull right out. Unplug it. Press this push pin right here. Just like that. Now we're gonna go ahead and remove the actual tail light. It's gonna be held in with 10s, 110 up here, and the other ones, let me go ahead and pull this panel off and I'll show you guys. So here's a little tab that's covering one of the holes in this little black plastic piece. Now we're gonna take off this carpet right here. Just like that. Alright, so you're gonna have to use a 10mm socket. Get off this nut right here. There's another one through this hole that we took out. Right there. And there's one right on the top right here. Right there. So here's what we took off. Once you have these three off, we're gonna go ahead and pull off the tail light. There you have it. Now you're gonna do the same process on the other side. All right, so you're gonna have to pull off this little fuel release right here. In order to do that, all you have to do is pull off this cable. This cable right here. It's gonna be attached right there. Just pull it straight out. So once you pull it out, then you can pull the carpet all the way back. Now you're gonna have the same thing on this tail light. There's gonna be three nuts, one right here, one underneath here, which you're going to pull out this tab right here. Just like that. Here's the tab that you pull out. And then through that hole, you'll be able to see the other nut and the one all the way on the top. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and put the reverse lights in. Well, first we're going to take them off and then we'll put all of them in together. So you're going to take off this panel right here. So you can just take off a few parts of it. You don't have to take off the whole thing. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So the tool that I've been using is this pair of, I guess you could call them wire cutters. So they're like, as you can see, they're indented in, so that way you can get behind the actual top part of the clip and then you pull it out. So watch me do it on here. So you get in behind and then you pull it out, just like that. So you see how it gets right in there? And you can find these even at Walmart. This was like $1 at Walmart. Alright, now that we have all 4 of those out, we can actually pull this down. And once you pull it down, you can go and unplug the connector. So you push the tab in and pull it right out, just like that. Now we're going to take off this bulb holder. Just like that. There's only 1 bulb for the reverse light. And now this one only has 1 nut holding it in. As you can see, it wedges it against the actual trunk itself. So that's a 10mm, pull that off. Once you have that out, you can just tilt it from right here. Once you tilt it, then just slide it out. Just like that. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Undo the bulb socket first, that 1 nut, and then pull it out. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and put the reverse lights in first, and then we'll put the actual tail lights. Alright, so they did not include bulb sockets for the reverse lights, so we're just gonna go ahead and reuse the old ones. So that part is not gonna be LED, so if you do wanna do that, make sure you order a separate LED bulb for your reverse lights. And I know eBay has them, ECS Tuning also has them, and their other websites do as well. Make sure when you're putting these in that the gasket is sitting properly so no water leaks in. That side's done, next side. Alright, now that we have both of those in, we're going to go ahead and secure this panel back. You're going to use those push pins that you took out, get them in there, push it back in. There you go. Now let's put the tail lights in. Alright, so on these tail lights, since it is LEDs, the actual bulb holder is completely different and it's screwed in with like a nut, so go ahead and pull that off first. We're going to go ahead and disconnect the resistor and everything. Now that you have that out, make sure the gasket's sitting properly and go ahead and unhook this. And the covers for the bolts. When you're sliding in, make sure you line up all these holes so you don't scratch anything. Once you have it in, we're going to go ahead and re-secure it with this little bracket and the other 2 nuts. So this bracket goes on the top. Alright, so the bracket that they give us, because of the aftermarket taillight structure, the bracket won't fit across the circuit board. So there's not enough space between the circuit board and the body of the car for this little pins to slide in and then, you know, like put support on it with the other rest of the tail panel. So we're gonna have to trim these a little bit, make them a little bit skinnier. That way they can slide all the way in. Let's try it now. We're also going to trim this one a little bit. As you can see, it's bending it. So we'll try our best, but I mean, it's gonna hold it either way, even if these tabs weren't there. Alright, now we've got all the nuts secure. Once that's done, we're going to hook up the resistors and all the wiring back up, and we're going to stick it to the body. Now we're just going to stick this on the body itself, underneath the actual tail light. Once you have that, we're going to go and tuck this wiring in. Stick all the wiring in there. Now that's secure. Let's go do the other side. Now we're gonna hook all the wiring back up. Now we're gonna go ahead and put this bulb cover back on. Alright, now that we have everything installed, let's go ahead and test it before we put everything else back together. All on?
Yep.
And there you have it. Everything works. Let's go ahead and put the trunk back together. All right, so in order to put the carpet back where it belongs, you're gonna have to take off this bulb cover again on both sides. So now that I already got the carpet back in, I'm gonna put the bulb cover back on and then put the push clips back in as well. Make sure you don't forget to hook up your emergency fuel release. It just clips right back in. And there you have it. That's how you install the Eagle Eyes LED tails. After you're done installing it, just be careful whenever it rains the next time. Just watch for any water leaks or anything like that. And if there is, just address it by taking it back off. Make sure the gasket's seating properly. And if you need to, you can use a little bit of silicone or the old gasket and just put it back on there. So besides that, that's how you do it. They look really, really good and they work just as they should. They fit pretty well. Only problem with fitment was that bracket. So the bracket that goes on the taillight itself, these two sections, there's not enough space to slide it in because the board doesn't allow enough space between the tail of the car and the actual taillight itself.
Couldn't you just use that one?
No, it's the same thing. So even the factory one will not work because this is still too thick. So the only way to make it work is to actually trim the bracket itself. But even when you trim it, it still fits fine, so you don't have to worry about it. So that's the only modification that you will have to do. Besides that, everything else just fits, plugs and plays. And there's no lights on the dash or anything like that, so they work really well. So if you guys have any questions about this specific taillight or anything like that, feel free to leave a comment down below or message me on Instagram. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more vlogs, DIYs, and product reviews.